and a 1, and a 2, and a episode 4!
Yay!
Do you want to hit us off with what happens? What are your thoughts, feelings, emotions on it?
It's episode 4. I've got to remember what episode 4 is about now. Right, so episode 4, we actually see the outside world for the first time.
Yeah, it doesn't start with a fun, catchy intro credit scene.
Yeah, which is very unusual.
Well, for any other TV series.
yeah. It's unusual for this one, yeah. I wasn't expecting it.
I wasn't expecting the blip.
No, I wasn't expecting that either. I was like, oh my god. So we now know Monica Rambeau was affected by the blip.
Yep, and her mum wasn't affected by the blip, but was cured of cancer.
Yeah.
And then died of cancer 3 years later.
Which is kind of deep, you know?
I thought that was the darkest thing a Marvel movie's done.
It was?
Well,
of course it's darkest.
Well, it's pretty dark, though, because it's like, she comes back, her mum's dead, she thinks it's only been a few minutes, and then the thing was successful. And then her mum's dead, but 2 years later, and her mum didn't see her because she was panicked that her daughter wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty dark. That's pretty fucked.
That's like, oh my god. Very deep.
That's like a fucking dark intro.
But, you know, that's sort of... I mean, I think the whole of WandaVision is kind of dark in some way.
Yeah, it's got a definitely dark undertone. But this is like proper, like, the first time it goes real dark. And this episode's like real dark.
But the fact is, the whole show's like the lowest rating a Marvel film's got, but it doesn't feel like it.
That's because people don't understand fucking, like, it's like, oh, it's black and white. That's bad. Why is it black and white? I want action. I want gunfights. I want fucking
No,
karate.
I mean age rating.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's like a 9+ age rating, but like it's got a lot of serious undertones, sexual references.
Yeah, say age rating, not rating.
Yeah, my bad.
Two different things. I'm sure there's still people who are complaining about the thing. But yeah, then we get Monica Rambeau's mum started Sword.
Yeah, so I think she had Sword in the event of Captain Marvel or Sword Collapse or Shield Collapse.
Yeah. Do you remember what the thing stands for? It's like Sentient Weapon Organization something.
Response Division.
That's the one. Probably.
And then, so the new guy, this new you vote boss who's going to be bad.
Yeah, I have weird vibes from that dude. He seems like bad.
Yeah, so apparently Maria Rambeau appointed him as the acting director
because Monica was gone.
Yeah, but according he's only acting director.
Yeah, but she's not. She's been put on like shitty duty, and she goes to Westview because of a missing persons report.
Yep.
And then she gets to run into dude from Ant-Man 2.
Yeah, well, his name is Jesse, I believe.
No, it's not
great sound there.
That was my phone dropping on the floor. I think his name's like
Jimmy. I'm pretty sure
his name is Randall Park, so that's great.
I'm pretty sure they didn't give him a J, but we'll find out eventually.
Yeah, I will do that. You continue talking.
Yeah, and then they fly the drone in, and then this drone is actually the same drone we saw in
Jimmy Woo. There we go.
I knew it was Jimmy.
Oh, whatever. It's now official. His name is Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, so the drone that they flew in was actually changed into the toy helicopter we saw in episode 2.
Episode 2, that's the one. And also the beekeeper man is a guy in a hazmat suit because the big bubble around her changes everything to make it match the setting.
Yeah.
And we find that out because he goes through the sewer system.
And then Darcy turned up, which is a great addition.
Yeah, really love that character.
Yeah, and she adds a lot of personality to the show.
Yeah, and she's really invested in the show, like everyone else.
She's like, yeah,
because she finds out that there's background radiation from like the Big Bang concentrated in that area, and it's emitting a signal that only gets picked up on a TV
from the 1960s, 1970s. Basically, cathode ray.
It's basically the show, but it's coming through as a TV show, and it's coming through on the TV that she sets up.
Yeah, which I mean, from our perspective, that's like really odd.
Yeah,
that's like what? Like they're watching a show.
Yeah,
that's so strange.
They're asking all the questions that we were asking, like, why the fuck is it in black and white? Isn't he dead?
Yeah.
How is he back?
Which is great, you know, like we're on the same page.
Yeah. They don't know what's going on either. And then we still don't know what happened to Hazmat Suit Guy.
I don't really know. I do wonder. It
also Monica Rambeau, Monica Rambeau gets kicked out, and she's being like, she's getting all like, oh no, wait, that's at the end because this ends with her being kicked out because it's all of the events of episode 1, 2, and 3 take place during this episode, and then it's like it's happening real time between when it happens. Also, the people at the entrance of the thing don't know that it's Westview. They think it's Eastview, and they don't want to don't. No,
they're from Eastview.
Yeah, but they don't believe Westview exists.
No, which is weird.
And they don't want anyone coming in, and they just turn around and drive back in.
Yeah, which seems to be, I think, got something to do with episode 5, but won't say it just yet.
Yeah.
So they try to ID everyone in there, so that they from the episode they recognize that the people
that, because there's a missing persons report, and then everyone who's been missing is like in Westview, and so they're trying to identify people based on the TV show and people who are turning up as cast characters, and they find Monica Rambeau in there as one of the cast members because she's been cast in the show.
Yeah,
because she gets sucked in basically.
And also there's no ID for Agnes or Dottie.
Yeah, which has led people to speculate that why is there no ID? Because everyone else has an ID, but why? Because we still don't know who the missing person that originally Jimmy Woo was called to find.
No, that is true. And I'm kind of interested now. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because he's there looking for a missing person, and then we don't know who that missing person is because it's not Wanda, because no one knew Wanda was there.
Yeah,
and they're like, well, why is she here? What is she doing here? What's happening? And then those people don't have any IDs, and that's led. Well, we're speculating that those two have an importance.
Yeah,
and we're like, well, what does this mean? And a lot of people are speculating that Agnes is a bad person.
I mean, it could be.
Dottie's a bad person.
But we'll have to wait and see, and there's not really much.
A lot of people are referencing the fact that Agnes doesn't, keeps mentioning her husband, and she could be married to the devil, because the devil's in the details is a phrase that's used in one of the episodes.
Oh.
And the devil is like Mephisto in Marvel, and he's like a devil, basically. He's like their version of hell, basically.
That's a great theory.
And then if she made a deal with the devil to bring Vision back,
Oh. And then
that's a speculation.
And then the episode kind of ends with the same as episode 3 ending. We kind of see a bit more perspective of actually what happened.
Because at the end of episode 3, it cuts from Wanda being angry, and then you don't see what happens to Monica Rambeau. But in this, you see what from that perspective, and she gets flung out the fucking portal. She just goes through every brick wall in that village.
And then she rebuilds the whole village as well. And then to top it off,
and then you see Vision walk back in, and then it looked a bit off when I first saw it because it's background, but it's the same sort of background that they used in episode 3, but it's slightly grayer.
Yeah.
And then you get the reveal with his face is caved in, and it's he starts talking and it's like, what's going on? And then she resets everything.
And then my initial thought there was, is she puppeteering his dead body?
Yeah.
Which is
also
very dark.
Is she having sex with a dead body?
Possibly.
Is she a necrophiliac?
Yeah. But maybe.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's a very intriguing episode, and it answers a lot of our questions. Well, doesn't answer. It gives us more questions, but answers some of the questions.
It gives us a lot of generic questions of what happened in the past 3 episodes. It gives a question of, why are we here?
It basically asks our questions.
Yeah.
And then we go, well, we're asking these questions. And then it goes, well, yeah, okay, we understand. You're confused. We're also confused. We'll see what goes on, and we'll continue and everything.
Yeah, I did enjoy this episode. It definitely feels like the show is now getting on.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's got
legs now.
It's ramping up. Yeah, it's ramping up. It's like, oh, we're back in the modern MCU. And also, I think they timestamp it as like 3 years, a couple months after the blip, like everyone returning from the blip.
Well, so it's just after that, yeah.
Because the MCU is technically 5 years ahead of everything.
The mad thing is, with all this COVID stuff now, it might actually sync up.
Yeah, Well, if they keep pushing Black Widow, because every time they push Black Widow, they have to push every other movie.
Well, it was 2023 in game.
Yeah.
So it's only 2 years behind now.
Yeah. We'll find out. But yeah, that's our thoughts on episode 4.
Yeah.
A lot shorter, but we want to get to episode 5.
Because episode 5 is the mad one.
Yeah, we want more answers.